So, why did I go to another Christ is King? Of course Christ is King, but the way they're saying it is demonic. They're saying it in a repetitive manner, they're basically saying it aggressively, they're chanting, and I really do need to read the Bible a lot more, but I think the Bible doesn't allow, or, that repetitive chanting is demonic. But let's get back to Tenkoni. Now, Tenkoni is pussy. Basically, on the last time I was there, he tried calling the police. Nick, he went to the police. Please get rid of this nasty Jamesy. Do you know what I mean? And that didn't work out that well because I just had a bit of humour. Bob accused me of trying to shoot him, which I didn't. I will shoot Bob down with any argument on economics, politics, or maybe even the Bible, but that's a metaphor, do you know what I mean? So I don't know where that came from. But why did I go yesterday? On paper, it's fine. I'm not calling anyone else who attended that event a fascist. No way. Jack Tenkoni, fascist. Jack, on the other hand, I think is warming a bit because he starts using denomination. There are no denominations. There were 2 Christian speakers at that event, but I think they are being sucked in by Tenkoni's fascism. If Tenkoni had not spoken at that meeting, it would have been brilliant, because the 2 Nigerians just said it like it is. Now, the thing is, to say it like it is, you need to get someone who's actually been there, done that. Can't remember the last bit, but basically you need to get them to say what is going on. So I was caught between the devil and the BBC. So I, got assaulted by one of Tenkoni's heavies. It doesn't say in the Bible, thou shalt not bring heavies to demonstration, but there were at least 4 of them, all kind of going, I basically stepped out of it, and I just used my footwork, then went back. That wasn't in that short. I went back and basically fronted the guy out. I said, don't you start on me, do you know what I mean? He assaulted me. Whether I report that or not, I don't know. I'm in a dilemma. But anyway, getting back to it, on the face value, and this is where Farage just said that if he doesn't become Prime Minister, you're going to get a lot worse. Well, Tenkoni is a lot worse. He's an out-and-out fascist. He is mobilising Squadrista. He'll have to go and look that up now, although I think he does know what he's doing, and this is where I think Jack is, because Jack is apparently the brains behind the operation. They are sucking in good Christian people. They're sucking in good Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholics, but you have to realise is that in the history of Christianity, Roman Catholicism is not considered by some to be true Christianity. Now, I'm prepared to respectfully disagree with Tenkoni, but he won't do that. If he did ever give me the mic, he'd be trembling at the, he'd be trembling or frothing at the lip, but I would say something positive. I've said that to Jack. Now, then, am I protesting or counter-protesting? Well, I feel a bit skit on this one, because I can't counter-protest and say, oh, look, the BBC's great. I went and harassed the BBC. I pointed out that, they employ paedophile DJs, that basically Laser 558 saved at least 18 months of my childhood from having to listen to this drivel. And I said positive things, and I also said it was Hamas Broadcasting Corporation, stuff like that. So I can't counter-protest something. Because there's nothing to counter-protest. I can't join it because it's fascism. So I sort of stay on the sidelines. I will shout out to Tenkoni every time he speaks. He's a fascist. Now, I don't want to disrupt what he is organising. He self-appointed himself leader of this nonsense, yeah? People have said, why don't you form your own group? Well, actually, that is a potential, because I think that the lovely people who were there yesterday need to slowly realise that there is a problem with Tenkoniism. It's not Christianity. So, I'm prepared to talk about this. I'm not a sectarian. That is a horrendous word which they can't even define, and it relates to what went on in the north of Ireland. Now, I'm actually a full supporter of the Belfast Agreement, and anyone who knows their political language is going, what? You know, the Belfast Agreement was one of the, it's known as the Good Friday Agreement as well, but the Northern Irish Unionists will not use the term Good Friday, which I think is a bit extreme, because it actually was Good Friday. But, you know, if the Irish can find a way of working together, I'm sure we can too. There is a greater threat. You know, I mean, God, if Ken Coley had numbers, crap, would I want to leave the country or what? But I mean, he had 4 heavies with him. And, you know, I don't give a toss. I mean, you know, they didn't, I mean, one of them actually picked up a glass in the pub. And I was like, what? You know, those are the sort of people you are bringing to a Christian event. That event was not Christian. There were Christians there. So that puts me in a dilemma. But it's a dilemma I'm prepared to work with, because I don't want to see fascism in this country. All you need to do is look at that short and you will come to the conclusion, fascist. All my liberal Christian friends, and I do believe they are liberal, I do believe they are ill-advised, I do absolutely love you all to bits, but you need to see what is going on in the name of our faith. And what is going on in the name of our faith is ridiculous. But the thing is, the people I'm hanging out with are ecumenist, and that's why I'm not ecumenist. I will say to Roman Catholics, look, I respect what you believe in, but I will call it out what they believe in, but they are not Christians. And I want to try to sort of at least find a way of getting my dad at peace before he dies. My dad was basically a Roman Catholic convert, because I do say the full name. You know, I am free, yeah?